Why Jesus? Why God? What is the difference? I can only tell you from my experience. Okay? Back in 2013, the end of 2013, 14, I remember I was moving out of my house for the first time. I was 19 years old. 19 years old. And I was working at LA Fitness. And downtown LA Fitness in West Palm Beach. And we would go and we would try to get members. You know, the gym hadn't opened yet. So we were just passing out, trying to get people to sign up. And I'll never forget, it was nighttime, one of the last few people. This kid came in and we were talking, really cool kid. I told him how I was moving. I was moving actually to college in about like weeks. I'm like, yeah, I'm moving to college to Orlando. And I'll never forget, he's like, hey, like, do you want to give yourself to God? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, up to that point, I was never really taught much about God. I grew up Catholic. We went to church a few times, but that's about it. We never spoke about God. So growing up, which I think is a blessing in disguise, because I know a lot of people speak about God. Growing up, Catholic school, Christian, all these things, and they just get like shoved down their throats, and they're like, no, I don't really like religion, you know? And so I'm kind of thankful that that's how I grew up, not really knowing God. Like, as bad as that sounds, I'm glad it wasn't shoved down my throat, because it allowed me to find my way to God. And so I'm like, yeah. And so we held hands, and he's like, we prayed, and he's like, God, you know, this is Alex, da 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 da. And I felt something different after that. And when I moved, and I got to my first apartment with my roommates, before my mom and my dad left, my mom gave me my first necklace. This isn't the one, but she gave me a necklace with a cross on it, and you know, and those were some of the few times I was in college by myself. I was in a very low point too. Whenever you move for the first time, you're gonna face very lows because you're encountering new things. And so I'll never forget just sitting there one day, just writing in my phone, in my notes. I'm like, man, this is hard. Like weeks down the road and things like that. But my latest encounter with God, when I really got close, I always believed in him and Jesus, but it wasn't until I hit like a really rock bottom, which is where I moved here in 2019. I moved here. November of 2019, I moved here. And I would say maybe at the end of that year, I broke up with my girlfriend, and I was at my boy Victor's house. I was at his house sleeping on an air mattress. There's a bunch of boxes around me because I just moved. Me and my girlfriend, she decided to move to Gainesville. I moved. And there's a video of it, you know. There's a video, if you go back far enough, it says moving to Gainesville, you know. And I moved here, you know. And I remember sitting in that room. I was just I would say depressed. I was sad, man. I was super sad. Broke up, no money, no job, nothing. Nothing. I don't even have money to pay the first month's rent. My boy let me stay there, and I didn't know what to do. No idea, wearing a hoodie, it's cold as fuck. And I grabbed my Bible. It's the only thing I knew what to do. I just grabbed my Bible and I just started sifting through the pages. I'm like, I don't know what to read, man. I have no idea what to read. I have no idea what I'm looking for. All I know is I want to feel better. And it wasn't until a few days later, or not even a few days, a few weeks later, my old coach called me and we had like a whole hour conversation about what Jesus is, who he is, what he wants from me. And the biggest takeaway that I got from him was Jesus wants a relationship with you. That's it. He wants you to spread this gospel. I'm like, what's the gospel? And he's like, the gospel is the good news, you know, that Jesus is here to save you and Jesus is here for you. And ever since then, my whole idea of God and Jesus was like, build a relationship with him. And so how do you build a relationship with somebody? You spend time with them. And so I dedicated every morning to spending time with him. Every morning for at least 20, 30 minutes. reading this book called Jesus Calling. It's a beautiful book. It's a daily devotional. And at the end of every single page you read, there at the bottom, there's little scriptures. And I'd go into my Bible and I'd highlight them. And it would give me, every morning I do it. Every morning, I don't miss. Every morning I do it because it gives me hope. It gives me hope, allows me to have faith. And, today was one of those days where just things are tough, man. Sometimes I feel a lot of pain. But what I've learned is that God allows you to give suffering meaning. The other day, someone asked me, he's like, well, how'd you turn to God? Why'd you turn to God? I'm like, because without God, it's hard to go through life because you don't have all the answers. There's a lot of things that happen to you in life and you don't know the answers to. You have no idea. And so we almost drive ourselves crazy trying to figure out what the answers are. Like, why did this happen? I can't believe, I'm going through all this, but why am I going through all this? Why? And in the Bible, it just God just is constantly reminding you, I know what I'm doing for you, I have you, I got you, trust in me, whatever you want, just pray about it, talk to me. And there's times where I'm just going through it, and look, if there's a God, there's a devil. I can't deny that. I can't just believe in one really positive thing. I have to believe that there's a negative too. And there's times where I get angry, I get angry. I want to beat the shit out of some people, I want to go do some drugs. I want to go do alcohol. I want to pleasure chase. I want to subside the pain because it is very painful. Look, I'm alone a lot. In this part of my journey in my life, I'm very much alone. It's me and my dog, and I work and I work and I work and I work. That's all I do. I work out and I work. I work out and I work. I work out and it's just a constant grind, and I'm blessed. I'm not complaining. I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. It's not easy, it's not easy. A lot of things, it's just constantly solving problems. And so that's where the term comes, take pleasure in not being pleased, and I'm learning that, So I recommend anybody, if you're lost, if you don't know what to do, find God. Now, don't mistake that for he's going to give you all the answers. He's going to write out a plan for you. He's going to tell you exactly what to do. No, don't go in with those expectations. Then what kind of expectations? Just listen. Be willing to dedicate time to him. It's like a relationship. If you just start off the relationship with a girl, hey, you just start talking to her more consistently, it's just you got to work your way to build her trust, to build a connection with her, have her, listen and you listen. So build that connection. I highly recommend you get the book Jesus Calling. And why am I saying this today? Because I needed God a lot today. And why should you go towards God? Well, we're spiritual creatures. We're not physical. Yeah, we have a physical body, but once this dies, our soul goes on, And so if you're going through it, God is the way, in my opinion. It's helped me out. I can only tell you what's helped me out, what's gotten me to where I am today. And if I motivate you, I inspire you, it's all because of God, not because of me. It's all because of God. Okay? And if you don't want to read the Bible, I highly recommend just get this book, start with one devotion a day and just read it. And you're gonna find out how much more faith you have in yourself and in life, and everything just happens for you. So I highly, highly just recommend that. Go towards him. He's helped me out more than anybody in my life, and I thank him for that. So much love, fam. Thank you so much. God bless you.